What is up, everybody? Welcome back to I guess another episode where I go over guns and stuff. Yeah. No one really requested this. I kind of said that I was gonna do this, and some people said yes. So I'm gonna do this, and I don't want to make you guys mad. So this is gonna be very opinionated slash factual based. If your opinion of the best weapon is damage, then just go with that, run with it. Alright, you don't have to like criticize what my opinion is, but that's my opinion, okay? My opinion is damage and bullets. Whichever one does the most damage and uses the least amount of bullets, to me, is the best weapon. So, with that being said, let's get into this video. Alright, so total effectiveness. I'm gonna break this down. I don't know if I explained it well enough in the last video. So for me, the total effectiveness includes how many bullets it takes, like the least amount of bullets. So how many bullets plus how much damage. So the least amount of bullets plus the most damage. All right. We're gonna discuss these by per minute. The reason why I do this by per minute is I know I'm not gonna be sometimes not. There's a lot of times where you can, but most of the time when you're fighting, you're gonna fight one or two husks, yes. But I'm gonna say per minute because I want to get a good basis of how much damage the weapon does and how much bullets the weapon uses. Throughout a minute. So this is holding the trigger on the weapon, putting out as much damage on a husk. Let's say that a husk has infinite health. How much damage are you going to get on that husk throughout 1 minute, and how many bullets are you going to use throughout 1 minute? Okay, so let's split this into two columns. First, we'll talk about how many bullets. All right, so the least amount of bullets. We need to find out how much potential damage there is per minute. So I said potential damage. Alright, so that doesn't mean like every single hit point's going to get hit, but I'm going to say potential damage because I'm going to say every bullet's going to hit this time, okay? And you need to know how much damage, or the damage per minute, the damage per bullet, excuse me. What am I saying? I don't know. It's on the screen. I can read it. The damage per bullet. Alright, so to find out that potential damage that we were talking about earlier, we need to find out the time it takes to expend one magazine. So how long does it take for me holding my trigger? How long does it take until I have to reload? The time, how many seconds does it take? So I want to find that out. Then I want to find out the damage per second, which is DPS, the reload time, how long it takes to reload my magazine, and how many seconds there are in 1 minute. That's going to be the hardest one to figure out. It took me a while. I did like 15 Google searches, couldn't figure it out. I don't know, but I ended up finding it out because I looked at a clock and count each tick, and I guess we'll get into that. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with damage per minute because we need to know that in order to find how many bullets per minute we're gonna use. So yeah, so the time it takes to expand one magazine, or I like to call it time till reload, TTRL. So you need to take magazine size over fire rate, or magazine size and divide it by fire rate. That's what I meant to say. And we're going to use the founder's Drumroll as an example. These numbers aren't correct on this one. I've updated the numbers with the correct numbers, so it's okay. The math still works out, and it's the same math, the same exact math I use on the charts that you'll see later on. But I've updated those, so don't worry. I've updated those numbers. Trust me. Okay, but these aren't updated. I just left them. So you take 62, and which is the magazine size of the Drumroll of the time. I think it actually still is 62, and divide it by 10.8, and you get 5.74 seconds. So it takes 5.74 seconds to shoot one full magazine. Okay, so from the beginning of the magazine to the end to where I have to reload it, it will take 5.74 seconds. Alright, I put that line there, so that's done with that. Alright, now we need to find our damage per second. So we could use the one that's given by what did I just say? Amic. I think I said Amic? I don't know. We could use the one that's given by Epic, which is damage times fire rate, is how they come up with their DPS, which is, 897.9 times 10.8 equals 9696.8. Or we can include critical hit damage, and that would give like a kind of like an estimate. That's if so let's say your critical hit chance percentage hits, let's say you have a 50% critical hit chance, right? So that means like you shoot one, it's regular damage. You shoot again, it's going to be crit, right? So you're going to have one regular, one crit if it's 50%. If it's not, you would have to calculate it appropriately. And to calculate how much, if you wanted to find your average damage including critical hits, you'd take damage and multiply it by the critical damage percentage, and you'll get like the critical damage per bonus, and then you'll multiply that by the critical hit chance, which is 44.90, and then you'll add that to damage, which is 492.8 in this case, and then you'll take that and multiply it by the fire rate, and you'll get your new DPS, which is 10182.2. So that's including the critical hit chance. It's if you hit that percentage when you're firing. So we'll do a little bit of both. I didn't really go too much into the critical hit damage. If you want me to, I will. But I'm going to show you there's not really much of a difference between the critical hit damage and the normal damage or DPS. So yeah, but let's continue. So this is we also have to discuss our reload time, which is also provided by Epic, and for the founder's Drumroll it is 1.8. And then you got to take these seconds in a minute, which was, as we discussed earlier, the hardest for us to, for me, not us, I was the only one doing this research, to find. I took a little clock that I bought my wife for Christmas, and I counted each tick for, I think it was a full minute, I'm not sure, but I found out that it was 60. So hopefully I was correct on that. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below and blast me, but I'm pretty sure it's 60 seconds that are in a minute. Yeah, so let's continue. So to find the damage per minute, you must take the TTRL, which we discussed was time till reload. I think I went into that pretty clearly, and multiply that by the damage per second, and then take the reload time times the damage per second, and subtract that from, time till reload times DPS minus reload time times DPS, because you want to take how much damage you're doing for that full magazine, right? And you want to know how much reload time or how much damage you're losing throughout that time that you're reloading, and subtract it from that, and you want to multiply that by 60 seconds, because it's going to be a full minute, and that will equal your damage per minute. So for the founder's Drumroll, you take that 5.74, which is how much it took to expend one magazine. Multiply it by 9696.8, which is the damage per second, regular damage per second, and minus 1.8, which is how much time it takes to reload, and multiply that by 9696.8, and then multiply everything that in that group by 60, and you get 2,292,754.49, and that is how much damage you're going to do per minute. If you want to know what the critical damage is, it's going to be 5.74 times 10182.2 minus 1.8 times 10182.2 times 60, and that will give you 2,407,392.21. So there's only 200,000 damage difference between the two if you include critical damage with the Founder's Drumroll. So yeah. So here's the good old chart showing you every assault rifle in the game currently. So it has the Vindertech down there, the far right. It has what was the new one? I think it was the Hemlock. Yeah, the Hemlock is here. Yeah, so it's got every single assault rifle as of today. As you can see, the Mercury LMG completely obliterates everything on this chart. It just completely obliterates it. Everything. Just everything. Like the Swan, I thought was really good at the time. Heck to the no, excuse me. Heck to the no. Look at the Terminator. Look at the Hacksaw. Look at the Drumroll. All of them are murdering the rest of this chart, right? But how much ammo are these actually using? That's the real question. How much ammo are these using? We'll find out here in a moment. But yeah, this is the chart. Gives you a complete understanding. This is, how much is this? 10 million. So the Mercury LMG is doing over 10 million. This is at power level 91, by the way, guys. So I didn't clarify that. This is power level 91. That's all we're going to look at today is power level 91, because I'm getting all of these statistics straight out of the collection book, except for the Drumroll, the Noc, and the Gravedigger. I got all of those. Noc, that's a Nocturno, and the Gravedigger. I got all of those from me, because I have those, and those otherwise I wouldn't be able to put those on here. So yeah. Next one. Okay, so for damage per minute, the winners are number 1, Mercury LMG, number 2, Hacksaw, number 3, Terminator, number 4, Drumroll, number 5, Gravedigger, which surprisingly beat the Swan. I was actually surprised by that. And then the worst, number 1, Vindertech Pulsar, number 2, Silent Specter, number 3, Ranger, number 4, SiegeBreaker, which is very shocking. A lot of you guys actually love the SiegeBreaker. I think the SiegeBreaker is a really awesome weapon, but it apparently doesn't do as much damage as we thought it did. Unless you add rolls and stuff on it, then it starts doing a lot. But yeah, and then number 5, DeathStalker, number 6, the Hammercrush, sucking it up down there at at number 6. So yeah, which out of, how many were we doing? We're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So we're doing 26 total. So that's 12 out of the 26. That's almost half. We're one away from half. So that gives you a good idea of where all of these weapons stand. Alright. So now let's discuss the bullets per minute, and this is the amount of bullets we're going to use in 1 minute. Remember, you want the least amount of bullets used, not the most, the least. So the smaller numbers are going to be better. So you take the potential damage per minute, which we discussed earlier, is TTRL times DPS minus RT times DPS times seconds equals damage per minute. So for the Founder's Drumroll, we found that out earlier. That was 2,292,754.49 for regular, and 2,407,392.21 for if you're going to include critical damage. All right, and then you take the damage per bullet, which is just damage, really, just regular damage, and for the Founder's Drumroll, it's 897, which is, you know, given by Epic, or if you wanted to go with the critical damage, it's 942.8. We discussed that. We found that out earlier. I just didn't really note it there, but yeah, we discussed it earlier. Promise. I just didn't say it. So to find the bullets per minute, you're going to take the damage per minute and divide it by damage, and that will give you how many bullets per minute. So for the Drumroll, you take the 2,292,754.49 divided by 897, and you get 2,553.47 bullets per minute. That's that's a lot of bullets that you're just like blowing through. And then you could do it with the other one, and I even did my math, and it's 0.46. It's just because I've been rounding my numbers up to the nearest 100th. I think, yeah, I think it's 100th. So it's 10th and then 100th. So I'm pretty sure I got that right. Yeah. But yeah, I've been rounding up to the nearest 100th, and that's it. And we'll just say that that's a 7. I did that. I really did that. Yeah. So here we go. Here's the bullets per minute. Remember, the lower bars are the better bars. So the Hammercrush, the Hydra, the Vindertech Pulsar, those are all the winners today. But yeah, the lower ones are the better ones. The Mercury LMG blew it out of the water with 7,000 rounds. That's a lot of rounds. Oh my goodness, that is a whole lot of rounds. So bullets per minute is number 1 is the Hammercrush. Number 2, these are the best, by the way, is Vindertech Pulsar. 3, Hydra. 4, DeathStalker. 5, Vacuum Tube Rifle. And 6, the Dragon's Roar. And the worst weapons are number 1, Mercury LMG. 2, Terminator. 3, Hacksaw. 4, Drumroll. 5, Swan. And 6, the Nailer. Yes, that's a gun. It's one of the I think it's one of the yellow ones. What is it called? I forget. I'm having a brain fart or whatever you call it. Yeah. So here is a side-by-side comparison. So the darker orange ones are the damage per minute, and the black is the bullets per minute. And you want the black to be lower than the orange, or else that weapon is not effective whatsoever. Okay, so if the black is bigger than the orange, that is a terrible gun, and you should not be using it because you're wasting way too many bullets trying to get little to no damage. So those big losers are like the Silent Specter, which is like completely using way too many bullets. The SiegeBreaker, which is using about the same amount of bullets compared to the damage. The Ranger, same thing. Is there another one? I don't think I see another one on here, but yeah, those 3 are pretty bad. pretty bad. And here's with the critical damage. So as you can see, so the critical damage is the gray, the damage is the orange. It just really lifts the damage up a little bit. Some do it a little bit more than the others, but I mean, it's really not by much. It's really not by much. So I didn't really go into like who's the winner or loser with the critical damage, but I will still tag all of those in the description below. If you guys want to see the complete list, it's down there below in the description. So yeah. Alright, so what is the best overall AR, T-Wolf? Well, yeah, so like I said before, how many bullets plus how much damage. So which one uses the least amount of bullets and which one gives you the most amount of damage for those bullets. And, well, the winners, number 1, the Mercury LMG. It blew it out of the water. How did I find out that the Mercury LMG is the best? Well, like I said, it did the most damage and used the least amount of bullets for that damage. I mean, it did use a lot of bullets, but it was giving you a whole lot more damage. So, yeah. So the Mercury LMG actually did really well, even though it used so much ammo. So yeah, you want to do some damage, you want to do some yeet, you want to do some verb, use the Mercury LMG. You're gonna completely destroy everything, trust me. Like, nothing came close to Mercury LMG. The Hydra is number 2, which was pretty shocking. I don't think it was on any of the best or worst lists, so it's just like, yeah, hey, I'm here. The Hammercrush, which was like, it did very little damage, but I mean, it does a lot of damage per shot, which ended up, you know, showing out. So that's why it's number 3. So if you don't mind doing a little bit of damage, you're still gonna get a lot of damage per the bullet, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. But it's a good low tier weapon. It's a good low tier weapon. The Lynx, which is a random gun. No one ever talks about the Lynx. Yeah, like, I've never even used the Lynx, so I don't even know how it plays. I've never used any of these guns except for the Hammercrush. So I would love to use these. If you guys have them, I would love to try them out and actually do a review where I shoot the guns instead of looking at the numbers of the guns, or if I find them, heck, that would be awesome. And number 5, the Gravedigger, which is a lot of fan favorites. It's one of the most rarest guns. I don't know if it is anymore, but it's one of the most rarest guns. It was, at least. And then number 6, the Tiger. Oh, my favorite, my new favorite, the Tiger. Used to be a SiegeBreaker, but not anymore. Not if they're crunching these numbers. It's not. So the Tiger is definitely my number 1. Then the Gravedigger, for the guns that I have. Yeah, I'll use the Hammercrush, but it's not really worth it. I feel like I'd rather just waste the bullets and get a little bit more damage with the Gravedigger and the Tiger. So yeah. And the losers, these are the worst ones. The Ranger, yeah, it didn't do too bad. It was okay. It was negative, and it was in the negatives on the percentages, but it wasn't that bad. The SiegeBreaker, number 5, is that's really shocking that the SiegeBreaker was this low. Yeah, I'm pretty sad that it got beat out by I'll spoiler alert. I'll just say it. Spoiler alert. Drumroll's not on this loser list. I thought it was going to be, but it's not. The SiegeBreaker actually beat out the Drumroll, so would not beat out the Drumroll, beat out the SiegeBreaker. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Number 4, the Silent Specter, which was garbage to see. It was pretty sad. I was upset. Sad face. Number 3 is the Bobcat, which yeah, the Bobcat, which was pretty sad to see too, because I liked the Bobcat, especially in Battle Royale. Number 2 is the Hacksaw, which is a machine gun. It's a LMG. Kind of looks like the Terminator in a way. And then number 1, the Terminator. So yeah. So the LMGs for the Terminator and the Hacksaw LMGs are trash. Yeah, don't use them. But yeah, we got a wide variety of guns here. So yeah. So that is it for this video. I know this was a little bit long. I was chatting a lot, trying to discuss each one of these guns and their capabilities, but we all know who the winners are. If you guys want to look at the critical damage winners, they're going to be in the description below. I'll have the complete list of both, so just the regular damage and the critical damage. So if you want to look at both of those, if you want to blast me and say, hey, I don't care about the bullets, I just want to know the best damage ones, then let me know, and I'll throw that one in the description. Otherwise, I'm not going to, because that's a lot of lists. But yeah, that is every single gun tested, tried, and true. And the best gun today is the Mercury LMG. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have an excellent day, evening, morning, whatever it is for you. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.